Hi everyone, Miss Leah here again, once again with another weekly science spotlight for this week. This week our theme is astronomy, and astronomy is the study of the space, of planets, of stars, of the sun, and everything else that's going on up in up above our atmosphere. So today I've got a fun little activity for you about the moon. Now, when you look up at the moon, you'll sometimes notice that it looks like it's a different shape. Is the moon actually changing shape? Well, I'm sure you know that it's not, but do you know why it's changing the way it looks? And we're actually gonna see how we can do that. We're gonna make our own moon orbit in our own rooms, in our own houses. So for this experiment, what you're going to need is you're going to need some kind of lamp, something that you can take the lampshade off of, just so you can use the light bulb. You're going to need a dark room, and then you're going to need something that you can make something round, like a bouncy ball or something else. I am going to use a balloon, so I'm going to inflate this little balloon. And then you'll also need something you can put your round object on. And I'm going to use a pencil. You can also use a skewer or a chopstick or anything else that you can attach to your spherical item. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to blow up my balloon, attach it to my pencil, and I'm going to turn off all the lights in here. So now we've got our sun, we've got our moon, and now we're going to experimentally recreate the moon going around the sun, so we can kind of get an idea of why maybe the moon changes phases. So go ahead, bring your moon over on one side of the lamp, or your moon on one side of your sun, and already you can kind of see that it's a little more bright in here than I thought it would be, but already you can kind of see there's a little bit of a shadow on this side, kind of like when we see a half moon, right? So if we move a little bit more this way, it looks like the shadow moves a little bit more. Shows you more of the light outside of the moon. And if we move all the way over here, now there isn't any shadow at all. And now that would be when you got the full moon. And as we move around the light here, be very careful with cords, the shadow comes back. You can kind of see it. And if you keep going, now we're back at the half moon. If we keep going, now we've got a crescent moon. And if we go all the way around, well, unfortunately my light is a little too bright, and the balloon's a little see-through. But if we had maybe if we had a solid object, you might see if I put my hand there, you can kind of get the idea. That would be a new moon. So now you kind of have an idea, you can see visually why the moon might change phases, because it's reflecting the sun at different angles. Now, if you want to get even more fancy with this experiment, you could also add the Earth into the equation. So you could get another object, probably a little bigger than your moon, and you can move it around. You can move your sun and your moon around. So I'm going to be right back, and we're going to give that a shot. All right, so for a second phase of our experiment, I actually used air dry clay to make us a little Earth and a little moon. Now my moon is not the right size. It's much bigger than our moon is compared to the Earth, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just kind of want to get an idea of what's going on here. So when you've got your Earth and you've got your moon, and we know that the Earth moves around the sun, right? And then we know that the moon moves around the Earth. So this is a little tricky to do with just your hands, but you can kind of get an idea when the moon, so you can kind of get an idea that when the moon is, as the moon is moving around the Earth, the Earth is also moving around the sun. And you can move your little Earth and Moon near around the sun and get an idea of where the light is falling. Another fun thing that you can do with this is now you can have an idea of why solar eclipses and lunar eclipses happen. So for example, when I'm moving my Earth here, you can kind of see it looks a little bit like our half moon did, right? Now, if the moon happens to move right over here, now you can kind of see that it went completely dark, right? So why does a lunar eclipse happen? It's because the Earth has moved in front of the sun's light, and now the moon can't reflect it anymore. And once the moon comes out, there, now it's got a half moon again. Same idea with a solar eclipse. The moon is a lot smaller than the Earth, so it can't completely block out the light from the sun. But if we have our Earth here, and our moon moves in front of the sun, you can kind of see, kind of hard to see from back there, but you can see that the moon casts a shadow on the Earth. So this is just one really simple way that you can create your own models, which is something that a lot of astronomers do. Astronomers will usually use computer programs to create models of different things like orbits and how far away stars are. But this is a very simple way that you at home can kind of see how it actually works on a smaller scale. So if you guys create your own Earth and Moon models, please feel free to share it with us. If you create anything else, if you make your own solar system, because you can make this go as big as you want. You can create a model, you can create a hanging mobile, and you can try out a whole bunch of different things. If you do any of that, please let us know. We would love to hear it. And I hope that you had fun with this activity. As always, when you're all done, clean everything up and make sure you're ready for the next one. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.